Okay, so how long has it been since you announced your divorce?
When you say the vow, who is actually very, very sincere about it?
I'm sincere.
Let's talk about your very public breakup. So
We're talking about this.
the relationship failed to sustain.
Now
okay.
I'm haunted by that. Okay, so how long has it been since you announced your divorce?
Well, I don't know. More than half a year already, I think.
I think slightly
Yeah.
more. It's been
Quite a while back already. Yeah.
And what was the reaction to it? Like, did you
Actually,
expect the reaction?
The reaction, right? Because I turned off comments, so I didn't see any
okay.
comments.
But
People,
you must have heard like people
yeah,
say things.
Actually, like the reaction is very little. Very little. I received some very encouraging DMs from followers, mostly from fellow divorcees, right? Who say like, "Oh, I'm also divorced.
Okay,
I hope you,
empathize.
take it easy." This kind of thing, but just very general because I never say why it happened and all that, right? So, nothing bad. Mostly encouraging stuff. Yeah. So it was quite okay. I got a lot of messages from friends, but I also think that a lot of people didn't want to talk to me about it. Like people who would have messaged me if I had announced something else. They would kind of text me, but they just never ask.
I think maybe it's a sensitive topic.
Yeah, like they feel that if you want to talk about it, you will kind of talk to us about it, but you never. Then okay, leave you be like that.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about divorce in general?
Well,
Like, what is the mindset here?
right. I guess like being in a relationship for 17 years, right, and then just like ending it, I feel like a lot of times a lot of people feel like there's a lot of judgment on divorce, like it's a failure of a marriage, right? Even when you hear not like when somebody's discussing a divorced couple, right? For example, I watch a lot of true crime shows, right? Then they will always say, I watch Chinese true crimes, then they will say, 他们结婚了几几几年，然后婚姻就失败了, right? So it's a very common saying, like that is a failed marriage. The relationship failed to sustain, right? But it is just like, I feel, why do you call it a failure? Like, just because it ended, the relationship was a failure. No ma, it sustained for this amount of time already. Then when it naturally dies, it dies lah. But it doesn't mean the relationship has failed and that the whole thing was a waste of time or something like that. I feel like the insinuation is that,
Yeah, there's a stigma against it.
Yeah,
because
so
I mean, the whole idea of marriage is that people make their vows and it's till death do us part, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
you vowed
that's
to stay
the
forever.
idea of marriage.
Yeah,
and
but like, who can really tell the future? So actually, when you say the vow, who is actually very, very sincere about it? You get what I mean? You cannot be what? Because what if...
I'm sincere. I said in my vows that I will help Debbie find her phone every single time she loses it, and now I'm haunted by that. Okay, but that, aside from that, yeah.
Yeah, but seriously, like, I mean, if you find out that your partner is actually a child rapist, you wouldn't say what? Then you're breaking your vow, right? Right? So can you really say that I must keep my vow? Cannot what?
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you found out your partner killed your dog.
And of course, people change. People change.
Yeah, people change lah. So at that point, it was sincere. And of course, when you have a child, you try to make it work for as long as possible. But I think 17 years, like people say, like, hey, you announce how people going to judge you and all that. Then I just say, like, my response to that when my friends ask me this is, well, I see whether they can last for 17 years. Most people don't have a relationship that lasted that long. So if you can last for 17 years, kudos to you. Good for you. You are better than me. But I did that lah. So when you hit 17, then you can't say me lah. Yeah, that's what I feel lah. So like that law.
What's the hardest thing about getting a divorce in Singapore?
Walao, the lawyer lah, I tell you, I already paid like 7.6k so far. Haven't even finished
To get divorced?
Yeah. And it's peaceful, completely peaceful. Got no like fighting, all these like keep meeting up and all that.
So what's the 7.6k used for?
I don't know. I don't know about money, man. Very bad. She said pay, I just pay lah. But my lawyer is good
pay
lah.
us, we'll do the law stuff for you.
My lawyer is good lah, but it's just so expensive, yeah. And then I don't think people know that when you do a divorce and you have a kid, right, you have to go through something called CCP, co-parenting program. Mandatory one.
Okay.
Then it's like by government one.
So
then
you have to do some course?
You have to do a course, like sit through some Zoom thing. 1.5 hour, very long, very boring one.
A week or just
one time only.
One time. Oh, come on.
Okay,
just one time.
No, haven't finished. After you finish that one, you have to go and meet an actual person, like a counselor.
Okay.
So this person's job, right? At first I couldn't understand what she was doing because I'm very, so far my divorce going very smoothly in a way that we're both still very interested parents. We both want to do well for Dash, right? Good. So we don't have hey, I limit you cannot see the kid, that kind of thing happening. We don't have. So but this program is for people who's the parents are in a very strained relationship. Like the mother don't want the dad to see the kid at all, but the dad is like struggling, I want to see my child, you know, this kind of thing.
Also, it's not just you and your ex, it's you and a group of people.
No.
A bunch of divorces. Is it just a
just me.
Group?
Private.
Okay.
But I'm saying that the job of this counselor, what is her job? Her job is to make sure that before you get a divorce, you have a plan for your child.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of people never think properly. Like I just want a divorce.
Sure.
I want to get out, but they never think. Okay. Which day should who fetch the kid? Okay. If in the kids emergency contact who? Okay. The teacher should contact who?
Okay.
Right? When will the other your ex-partner be able to visit your house? You know, who fetches the kids on weekends? Can the other parent bring the kid on a holiday?
So it's just a very
things like that. So they ask you
tedious-
to have a questionnaire. Then she discuss with you. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Then a lot of questions. I'm just looking at her like, why need to put it in the contract? Like because people. For very strained relationships, you have to put all of this very specified when you divorce, right? But for non-strained relationships, it's just like, 你要来看孩子, 来看啦, I don't care lah, you just come lah. You get what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so things like that lor. Then they
I
ask
guess
you
the
question
lawyers
A.
probably have to prepare for the worst.
Yeah,
the
no,
worst
but this
case
one is not lawyer,
scenario.
it's government. So I think they are trying to take care of the child. So if they see the answer to the questionnaire, right, they will ask things like, how's your child reacting? Is he crying all the time? Does your child listen to you? Is your child blah blah blah? All this. So I think if the child is in an uncared for state, they will step in. That is the counselor's job. I think lah. Yeah, but you see through this program with the person. Did you know that, like, for example, now, right, let's say okay, I marry a guy. Okay, then his mother gave me a ring for the wedding, right? Or give me a Rolex. Okay, it's a family heirloom. Now we divorce already. Immediately 1 month later I divorce. Like who gets do I get to keep the Rolex or not? You think so?
What's the law?
Okay, so the law is
Wait, let me guess.
Okay. Okay, let's do two. One is the guy gave me a proposal diamond ring. Okay, that's diamond ring. And then number two is the guy's mother gives me for a wedding gift, she gives me a Rolex and also gives me a Rolex.
Okay, so for the first scenario, I would assume that you get to keep the proposal ring.
Okay.
Because it's a gift from a person. Just like how if it's, her birthday, I will give her a gift and she gets to keep it. And even if she walks out of Titan, it's still hers.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Second thing is more like a family heirloom that you mentioned. So I think it stays in the family.
So it should be given back to the mother.
It should be given back to
His
the mother so
Okay.
that it can be passed down through his bloodline.
Okay.
And not stop and not stop there.
Okay, you're wrong on both instances. Okay, so
I'm a divorce noob.
that's a good thing. So if anything that is given by the husband, bought with his own salary or given by the wife, same thing. In the course of the marriage, considered a marital asset, matrimonial asset. Basically, things like the house, the microwave. That's like we share and use one. Okay, even if it's a gift, it's considered both parties one. So split. Okay, I can keep the ring, but I must give you back value half.
Oh.
Okay. Then the Rolex, right? She gets to keep it because it's not part of the things that need to be even split. It's between me and your mother, the guy's mother, right? So anything that is a gift through the guy to me, like even if your mother give you a house to stay in for the two of us to get to stay in after we get married, right? But right after we divorce, I get half of the house because it's a matrimonial asset. But if this thing has zero, how to say, the guy has zero contribution to it, right? The mother-in-law give to the daughter-in-law, she can keep the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, because nothing to do with the guy. It's nothing to do with the guy. So if the mother-in-law wants it back, she own self come and claim from me. Right? So yeah, it's nothing to do with the divorce. Like that,
So mothers, you know.
Yeah.
This time if you want to give.
If you want to
give it through your son.
No, you give it through your son also cannot.
Cannot?
Cannot
Okay,
give
say
it.
that your son gave it to them.
Yeah, then can. Only if your son, okay, you can exchange it for money with your son. Give it to your son give you $1, now the value is $1. Then you give to maybe something like that. Then can. But even then, you cannot take it back full. You split half.
Wow.
Let's talk about your very public breakup with someone.
Oh,
Yeah, so
we're talking about this.
if you are comfortable, like whatever you're comfortable.
I'm fine.
Anyway,
It's fine. Yeah, okay, let's go.
So, okay, let's just be sensitive to people who are involved.
Yeah, let's not put names.
Yeah, but I think it was, wow, you were really very sad at that time because we were just friends. So Jianhao was, did talk a little bit about it and everything. So I know that the Maserati was bought because you were so sad. You were just like, fuck, I don't care about my bank account anymore, and you'll buy a car. Was it true?
No,
Sort
not
of.
true. The Maserati I always wanted.
Yeah,
so
I know
saw it
lah.
like 3 years ago, and then it happened like after. Maybe it was a trigger to go for it.
Yeah, it was like YOLO,
I'm
live
sure.
life.
I'm sure there was a little bit about the breakup where I'm like, okay, now I can do something for myself. So I did it and not worried too much about consequences.
So looking back, like, do you think that at that time you were being overly emotional, or is just the right amount, or?
Absolutely not. I think I was super emotional. I was super upset. But at the same time, I am super emotional and super upset about a lot of things.
Oh, okay. So in general, you are like that.
This is not the
lah.
first breakup that I went through where I felt upset. I have never broke up with someone, or I have never had a close relationship that suddenly drifted where I did not feel emotional about it, where I felt completely stoic about it. There's no such thing. So
Ooh.
in general, it's just how I react to it. It's not like I do something crazy, or it's not like go on start dating all the girls, but it's just a normal reaction. It's like Taylor Swift, she writes songs. I feel sad,
Right.
I do something. I make a video or something.
Do you think most guys react like you? Actually, I have seen like many of my guy friends, right? Even like when they break up, they're really very sad and they really cannot recover.
I came from a background where I lived overseas for 6 years and then 5 years, right? So, and it's an international school. So 3 friends, they're here for 3 years and then they leave. So, I think my first ever heartbreak was saying goodbye to this girl because of the circumstances that we had to leave.
Right.
And I didn't know how hard it would hit me at that time. But the fact where you say goodbye to someone and then you never see them ever in your life again.
Leh. Like you can visit her later.
As time goes by, I learned that you really never see them again.
That's true lah. Huh?
Yeah. And you can imagine being in that environment. It's not just like relationship, it's also friends and mentors, teachers,
Right.
people who. So then you realize that sometimes when you say goodbye, it's for real. And I think that's the saddest part. I think that's the real saddest part about goodbye, is that when it happens, you will never see them again, and you will never see that them in that light again. Even if you see that person after 10 years, 3 years, 10 months, it's a different version of them. It's a different relationship dynamic.
Wow, so deep eh.
It's like saying goodbye to a teacher, the teacher is somebody who nurtures you, who teaches you for a good 5 to 6 years. And you have that special relationship for them where they care for you and they have this special affection for you. But if you see them 3 years later in a mall, or if you see them even in a club where you just have a drink with them, it's different already. That magic and that relationship is completely gone. So when you say goodbye, you're not just saying goodbye to a person, you're saying goodbye to that version of the person and saying goodbye to that life that you had with the person.
But I think that it is I was like quite concerned for your mental health at that time, because you were partying a lot also. Yeah, and I don't think you used to party that much. So like I was just like, okay, I hope he's getting better. And then soon after you told me, I met someone and I really like her. So so that person is Debbie, right? So,
She's not here.
so I think that you described Debbie to me, and then like one of the first things I did mention, being the skeptic that I am, is that are you scared that she was making use of your fame? Right. So I think at that time you said
Such a mom thing to say.
Yeah,
Such a mom thing
right.
to
Like
say.
what if she just tries to be famous, right? So what was your response at that time?
At that time, I wanted to keep her out of
Like
the
social
limelight.
media, right? Yeah, I think you said that.
I think for a good 2 years, I completely kept her out.
Yes.
Of the limelight.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe some photos here and there, but she was completely out. I think it was a private account. I did not include her in my videos.
Right.
Mainly because I wanted to protect her.
Right.
And because coming out of my previous relationship, there were a lot of supporters there. I did not want to...
It was a lot of unnecessary stress for her also.
Unnecessary.
Like
So
people
I did not want to do that. But her personality was so strong that it carried out, and I'm like...
It's such a waste.
It's such a waste. The as a boyfriend I was like, I need to protect her. As the entrepreneur or the titan guy, I was like, man, we could really use a Debbie.
Right. Yeah.
So we tested, and it's too good to tell her to not do
Debbie
it.
is just someone who is like, when I finally met her,
Her personality shows, it's just like her. Like,
but
it
it's
just
just
happens.
not just the online thing that is like her persona, or like her on TV or like whatnot, right? It's that she's just good at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Debbie you see on camera is the same as the real life thing. Like
Yeah.
I can't say that for many people, but for her it's like it's the exact same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Debbie, right, is like when I first met her, I really liked her, and I greatly approved of how she did not, like go and force you to, hey, why you never show me on social media?
Yeah.
Some girls might want to do that because they will say things like, like, why you don't want to show? You want to show that you pretend that you're single, is it? You want to hit on more girls? You want girls to like you, is it? You like attention, is it? This kind of thing, like, girls get insecure. Like, and it's not an unreasonable thing to say also, right? Because your previous relationships have been public, but why? Are you ashamed of me? Like, why are you hiding me, kind of thing? But she didn't. So, like, I don't know what she did in private, right? But seems like it was fine. Yeah, and when I met her, I was like, hey, she's so cute. So when you see her, you think of her as someone who is very ditzy. Right, because the way she talks, she's very excitable, right? But then you realize she's so good at so many things.
Yep.
Like, one of the things that I'm very surprised about, like I recently learned about only when I met you guys, was that Debbie said she can do tattooing.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just like
this tattoo, she did it for me.
Right. I don't know if it's a known thing that it's on like that.
Yeah, she
people know.
shows, but I mean, she doesn't do it like
right
for a job or get paid doing
Right.
it. She just does it
Yeah,
for
but I
fun.
see like it's on Vanessa's whole body, right?
Yeah,
So
there's
it was just like, hey,
16.
it's not bad. Then I asked her, why? Why you suddenly into tattooing? This is nothing to do with your job. Like you try to be a tattoo artist, man. You learn for
nothing
what?
to do
Right?
with her job.
So she said, oh, just for fun now. I wanted to try eyebrow embroidery, and then I decided to buy a full tattoo machine to try. And then like she tried, and then like somehow Vanessa was a okay canvas for her to use, so she and it was turned out really not bad. Yeah, Debbie is just the right amount of I think for most guys she's perfect, because guys don't want a girl.
No, not for most guys.
Okay,
just
sorry,
me, just me.
Not she's not available anymore. Okay,
Yes.
but it's like she's the right amount of, like, if I'm a guy, I would like to date a Debbie, because I don't want a girl who is too opinionated. Like everything also want to scold me, everything also got an opinion, but not a doormat, like dumb, like no opinions also. Like she's just the right amount. Like she is feminine enough, but also has her like guy side of things where she works hard, learn new things, and that's why though. I feel like I'm not describing it well enough, but
I think you are describing it well enough.
Yeah, but Debbie is super into Jianhao, so don't even think about it.
Things about Debbie than I've ever seen.
Really? Yeah, Debbie is such a nice girl.
Thank you.
So did it help with your grief that you met Debbie quite soon after?
Yeah, it did, for sure.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Everything was
Great
timing. Okay, so Xiaxue has said more nice things about Debbie than I have ever said on camera. So I think this is the part where we have to cut the podcast before Debbie falls in love with you, because she's already watching a lot of Guide to Life since I knew her.
Sure.
So let's just end it now. And if we have more, and it totally seems like we do have a lot more to talk about, we will do it in the next few episodes of Answered. So we end it here. Is there a possibility of you joining Titan?
I really am not motivated by money.
This could be interesting.
Uncle Raymond was making use of special needs kids.
Like a bunch of people follow me to my house. I don't deserve this.
So I'm so angry with her.